Hi friends, it's Molly with Soul School Spiritual Guidance and Healing. Thank you guys so much for being here. It's been a minute, but I owe my precious little Geminems a reading, okay? So this is a reading, a collective reading for my Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. And I am actually going to start you guys off with a little bit of an AstroForecast. So basically I'm just taking a peek at the astrology for the next month or so and seeing if there's anything big that stands out to me as far as what my Geminis might be going through. So before I begin, the astro forecast itself, of course, is dependent on the time, but the reading, when we get to the reading, that reading is timeless. That reading is collective. And another reminder that I like to give you guys is that your free will is the best predictor of your future. All right. So my job is just to take a peek at the energies and see what we can do to work with them. So thank you guys for being here. One more announcement. The website is up and running again, so check out all the information down below if you guys want to order a recorded reading or book a live reading with me. All right. Gemini. The big thing that's happening right now is that Mercury is in retrograde, okay? Mercury is only in retrograde for a few more days. Oh my gosh, wait. Sorry, I haven't updated my calendar. Today's the 12th of December. Mercury is retrograde until the 15th. And it's retrograde in Sagittarius, which is the sign that is opposite Gemini. So here's a couple things to look at. First things first, as somebody with some Mercury influence in your chart, I always recommend that you go and look at what was Mercury doing at the time that you were born. I was born under a Mercury retrograde, and I almost find, and I'm a Gemini moon, okay? So I almost find that Mercury retrogrades are kind of a time when I have to slow down communication and slow down thinking, but in a really, really positive and really, really beneficial way, okay? So if you're the kind of person that's like, oh, Mercury's retrograde, I don't know what to do, look at your chart, because Mercury retrograde might actually be a good thing for you, all right? For all of us, though, like I said, especially if we have placements between the 6th and the 22nd degree of Gemini, because that is the period, or that is the area of Gemini that's being covered with this retrograde in Sagittarius. So let's say you've got placements, either a sun, moon, or rising sign, maybe a Venus, a Mars, I don't know. You know your chart, okay? So if you've got a placement at 6 degrees of Gemini, then around this time, right, around December 15th, Mercury is going to be stationing direct in the 6th degree of Sagittarius. That's an opposition, okay? So whatever degree you've got, if you've got anything between 6 and 22 in Gemini, Mercury is currently opposing that. Mercury is, of course, the ruler of this sign. So what I see happening, to be honest with you, because it's taking place in Sagittarius, I feel like this has a lot to do with future plans, okay? Like big goals. The energy, just that I'm picking up intuitively, is that it has a lot to do with maybe even excessive inner thoughts, okay? Like the voices, okay? You know how it's like a big family reunion in here? There's never more than one of us inside the mind of a Gemini, especially Gemini moon, right? There's always more than one of us in here. And I feel like there's almost just been so much chatter specifically about any sort of big vision or long-term plans. I will say, let's see, I don't have the date. When did Mercury first hit the 6th degree of Sagittarius? Probably early November, okay? Then it goes from 6 to 22 up until November 25th. Then it went retrograde and covered 22 back to 6 again, okay? It's going direct on the 15th. So what we've been doing is this little dance, okay? Mercury has been dancing back and forth between the 6th and the 22nd degree of Sagittarius. Will continue to do so until about January 3rd, okay? So whatever issue is popping up in your chart at this time is not just now popping up, okay? It's probably been on your mind or in your life since at least the beginning of November, end of October, okay? So what else do I have here? I also have a note that Jupiter is retrograde in Gemini. Specifically, the 15th through the 11th degrees is, those are the degrees that it's covering. I don't have dates for those, but that is a much slower transit, okay? So that's something that probably is taking place, probably just like the end of 2024, the beginning of 2025 are likely to be painted with that Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. What does Jupiter do? Especially if you're between the 11th and the 15th degree of Gemini, Jupiter is an expansive energy. Okay, so we've already talking about maybe there might be some excessive self-talk going on at this time, maybe a little like more mental energy than we need. All right, Jupiter's going to expand that even more if you've got placements between the 11th and the 15th degree in Gemini. All right, Jupiter's going to be coming in and just basically magnifying the issue until it's big enough that you have to take action. Okay, so that's just the vibes that I'm getting. That's what I've got for your astro forecast. Let's go ahead. I'll have a timestamp, probably. That sounds like a good idea. And get Fweddy off my web. Say hi, Fweddy. I got to do a reading. Is it okay if I do a reading now? I love you. You can watch. All right. Let's get into your reading, Gemini. I pulled out a couple of cards already from the, pardon me, the Alchemical Visions Tarot. And, all right, let me go by one. We have a Page of Swords reverse, which Mercury's retrograde. That makes sense. There's some information that either hasn't been communicated or it's even like a thought, an idea, a perspective that you're talking yourself out of. Okay, that's the feeling that I get with this. Okay, one thing I like to point out about this particular Page of Swords is that it's got these like diagrams of sensory organs. Okay, that's just what these remind me of. Okay, sensory organs, and this makes me feel like this has something to do with speech. Okay. Gemini is all about communication, okay? Make sure you're also being very observant. Make sure that you're paying attention. I get the idea of somebody looking at something and just assuming they know exactly what it says and not taking the time to really read it, okay? Let's take that metaphor beyond like reading information, and we're talking about thoughts, ideas, perspectives, maybe communications that have been initiated and not yet picked up. Okay. So if you got an inbox that you only check like once a month, go check it. There might be something for you there, my gemmies. Okay. This Page of Swords is reversed. Okay. So the message is not getting through. Like we're not making a connection. We're not computing. What that is leading to is a reverse Nine of Cups and Four of Swords. Now, Nine of Cups is wish fulfillment, okay? Four of Swords is like really feeling like you have an environment that you feel stable in, okay? These are showing up reversed. I don't think that it's not true. I don't think it's true that you don't have these things. I think this Page of Swords reverse is telling me that there's just something that you're not seeing. And I don't want to say lack of gratitude, but it almost feels like there's something that you're missing, something in your perspective that if you get this idea, you get this perspective, and that flips all three of these cards. Okay. Oh, okay. The Nine of Cups is specifically, look at this dude, sitting on a throne. Okay, that's wish fulfillment. The Four of Cups is the Four of Wands is pretty much a castle. All right, this is my happy home card, is the Four of Wands. And especially in this deck, we've got, it's just this ring of flowers around it is very, very similar to the World card. And that makes me feel like this is a place that is very, very well protected. Like you feel safe there, okay? You feel like you fit in. and not in the kind of fitting in that Geminis can do with anyone, anywhere. Like, you really feel like this is a place where you can be you, all right? We do have a tendency to sort of chameleon when we're around other people or in different environments, meaning that without even consciously thinking about it, we are matching the energy. We're matching the way people are talking. We're matching the things that people are talking about. We're just chameleons, okay? Mercury takes the shape of that which contains it. So, you know, when you're at work, there's a work you. When you're with those different people at work, there's a different work you, right? There's different yous for different environments. But this to me represents where you really just get to be you, all right? Which can be very unpredictable, but it's a safe place for you to be whatever personality you feel like on that day, all right? I almost feel like this Nine of Cups is about you being the influencer rather than being the influenced, okay? Now, if you've not done that part of your shadow work yet, Geminis, I mean, depending on where your Gemini is at, it may or may not be relevant for you. For me, as a Gemini moon, I had to realize that I was doing all of this unconsciously, right? That I was sort of adapting my personality to fit whatever environment I was in, all right? This is an environment, this Nine of Cups, where you just get to be yourself. And everybody kind of adapts to that, okay? I think this would be like a really fun party to go to. We've got a lot of cups up there and everything. But if a Gemini threw a party, right? He is cloaked in pink, which is the symbol of self-love in my own little symbolic dictionary. And he's kind of holding his hands out. Okay. His hands are saying stop, actually. His hands are, I feel like he's creating boundaries with his hands right now. Okay. Are a lot of people asking you for things? That's just kind of what happened here. All of a sudden I felt like, God, what do all these people want from me? What do they all need? Okay. I feel like that's the theme of these potentially excessive thoughts that you have going on. Temperance card is on the bottom of the deck. Okay. That's Sagittarius energy and it's reversed, which means there's potentially an opportunity for integration of your thoughts. As soon as I brought that up, we've got the Empress, which is growth. It's also 3, the Roman numeral 3, and the third house of Gemini. The third house, by the way, represents several things. It can represent childhood, but also it represents what I'm going to call like the energy of childhood friendships, which means that person with whom you have just like an infinite good time. All right. These are your peers. These are people who are like you. These are people you can be yourself around. Okay. King of Cups is just being really persistent on the bottom of the deck. King of Cups reversed. All right. Which means, again, like it's pointing me right back to that top cup. Okay. Because this is a very regal and royal energy sitting up on the throne, not realizing that emotional fulfillment is actually, it's like it's right there, but there's something that you're missing, okay? Some sort of perspective that you're missing. So, I'm gonna, get my hands on that. I just really want to cleanse this deck before we get anything out of it, okay? This is the Crow Tarot. And this deck actually kind of started talking to me a couple days ago about being a part of your reading. So I feel like it's just, my hands feel really tiny. I haven't shuffled this deck in a really long time. And for some reason, it's just making my hands feel really, really tiny right now. Maybe that's relevant. Maybe it's not. Okay. So what are you? We have a 10 of Swords and we have a 4 of Pentacles. Here's a King of Swords. I feel like this energy is boundary energy. This is the sticking your hands out being like, wait, okay? This is about drawing a boundary, and even like within your mental space, perhaps, okay? Because not every thought that comes along needs to be entertained. Okay, baby, Freddie's back. There's Saturn at the top, and Saturn is a very restricting energy, okay? You guys, if this is about boundaries, if you're thinking to yourself, yeah, there's probably some places in my life where I could institute a few boundaries right now, do it now. Especially if you're between the 11th and 15th degrees of Gemini, because Jupiter is going to run through there and exaggerate that. It's going to magnify. It's going to just like grow that issue. The issue being a need for boundaries, potentially. Jupiter is going to magnify it until it's unbearable. Okay. So the tempering energy, sort of like the other side of that coin, Jupiter is very expansive. Saturn is very restricting and limiting. So anytime we're talking about boundaries, Saturn is an ally of ours. Okay. Temperance reversed again. Okay. The Ten of Swords here. Yeah, I really feel that. We got Ace of Swords reversed. So kind of all on the theme of something that you're just not seeing. Okay. It's coming towards you because that was an Eight of Wands. Okay. But something that you're just not seeing. Spirit's asking me to really look at, to really look at what's going on here. Yeah, that's a Five of Wands. Okay. And a Three of Cups. All right. Three of Cups, that third house. This has to do with your peers. This has to do with the way that you feel when you're around other people. Because here's what I'm getting. That when you are alone, because this crow is in a private space. They're behind a wall, okay? This crow is out like in the open. There's the city skyline, right? This crow represents when you are alone in your thoughts, all right? Ooh, that's a tough time. That's a tough time. Okay. There's a feeling of I'm not doing enough. I'm not giving enough. I'm not being enough of maybe like what the people around you are wanting you to be. All right. So when you're alone, which is an important time for Geminis, we're very, very, very social, but we also need that time to be alone and kind of organize our own thoughts, sort out our own thoughts, or at least give them the space to sort themselves out. All right. That's not happening. We're not getting that mental recharge time when we are alone. I say we just because I'm a part of the collective as well. So what's happening is that's just actually very, very stressful thought energy. Therefore, when you go out into public and you have to be your public persona, you are clinging so tightly to all these pieces of you. Okay? It's a little bit of a miserly energy. And I don't think it has to do with actual like pentacles or coins. I think it has to do with like you feel so tired of giving yourself to everybody around you because that's what you're doing in your thoughts when you're alone. Okay? Yeah. So there's a lot of conflict. A lot of conflict in the mind. And it wasn't until I picked up this card that I could hear the cawing. The caw, like caw, caw. Okay? I didn't hear it here. I didn't hear it here. I hear it here. What this says to me is that you've got conflicting thoughts. I should be more like this, but I want to be more like that. I need to do this, but I feel like doing that, right? I feel like that's really the energy of what's going on with you at this particular time. All right. And this is all very much going still with the background of the Sagittarius energy, which is your opposite sign. Okay. Here's the difference between Sagittarius and Gemini energy. Gemini loves to share ideas with peers, people who are like them. Okay. Sagittarius likes to share ideas with people that are different from them. Okay. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. It's a very expansive energy. Very expansive energy. All right. Big picture ideas. who you are, where you want to go, what you want to achieve in your life. It might have to do with things like travel goals, anything that really has to do with expansion. It may have to do with becoming well known at something. You might be working through something where you want to have a reputation as being good at what you're doing. Okay? That's all very Sagittarius energy right now. And I feel like, again, it's very expansive. And with us being who we are as members of the Gemini collective, it's almost teetering on the verge of too many thoughts. Okay? So what can we do about it? You know who wanted to talk to me is this teeny tiny Rider-Waite. I have one Rider-Waite deck and it's like this big. And it wants to come out and talk to you guys as well. So while I'm shuffling this up, now my hands feel giant. I'm just going to say thanks again for being here today. And to remind you that if you guys are interested in a personal reading, you can actually book those at the link below now. And I've got special rates going through the end of 2025. The sun is reversed. There is a truth that is standing right in front of your eyes and you guys aren't seeing it. Are you getting enough sleep? Are you getting enough sleep? Probably not. You got the Hermit reverse, which means even when you withdraw into your little cave space, you don't really feel like you're alone. You're not feeling like you're alone. Okay? Yeah. This is interesting. I got the Lovers reverse and the Empress reversed. And we've got another Four of Pentacles. Last one was upright. This one is reversed. What are you saying? Okay, the sun is talking to me about the fact that it's not just about a truth being hidden. It's about a shift in perspective that's needed. Okay, it's not like, oh, this is the final clue that I needed to tell me that things are actually this way, not that way. It's a big picture. Sagittarius is philosophy. Your philosophy about how to deal with your energy, what to do with your energy. It's almost like there is a belief that is telling you, I just ate a donut. Don't tell me I still have I had donut sugar on the sides of my mouth. I'm so sorry, you guys. There's my Taurus sun bleeding into the reading. Let's focus. Okay. Yeah, this is asking you to look at the spaces that you're walking into. Look into the peer groups that you're walking into. Okay? Because I feel that this is their energy. Okay, with the Empress reversed, the Lovers reversed. Okay, the Lovers can just have to do with like an incompatibility, but it's also about 2 3s coming together. 2 3s coming together means, hey, I'm living in harmony in my life. You're living in harmony in yours. Let's vibe. All right. When the Lovers reversed comes up with the energy that I'm getting from it now, that's telling me that there's some codependence here. Okay. It might be with one particular individual. Ooh, and it might remind you of your mother. It might be with one particular individual. It might be with like in a group that you're showing up to. But there's some serious, I feel like, codependence going on. Somebody who's not vibing on their own. They are not in their own state of harmony and able to come together with you in harmony. Your harmony, your inner harmony, your 3, your Empress, is actually being threatened in this environment. Pardon my hiccups. Okay. I want to get some more from that. Thank you so much, Divine Spirits. And look what we got. Temperance shows up upright. To me, Spirit does that. I'll see a card reversed 2 or 3 times in a reading, and then once the message that can remedy that energy comes through, then it's going to appear to me upright. Okay, so Judgment. Yeah, you gotta like assess. You gotta really stop and, okay, that's a good idea. Give me a second, okay? Because there's so many coming through. Yeah. All right. When you go into your space alone, instead of putting your energy into how can I fix this situation, I want you to take a giant step back and say, why am I in this situation to begin with? How did I get here? Is this the best situation for me to really be in right now? Not how can I fix it, but what am I doing here? Okay. This moon came out sideways. What does this mean that this moon came out sideways? Yeah, you're probably, you're going, okay, that's great advice. All right, Gemini, here's what I need you to do. I need you to figure out what are the parts of yourself that are butting heads, okay? Assign each of them a persona, like do some role play. I'm so serious. Like shadow work and self-talk, like having a conversation with yourself works so much if you can just like assign roles to those different parts of your persona, okay? And I want them to have a conversation. I want them to really review the situation, call it up, question it, because there's a part of you that doesn't want to see this dynamic. There's a part of you that would just rather, there's a part of you, let me say it this way, that already knows. There's a part of you that already knows that this dynamic is not the best for you. Whatever the dynamic is, it could be, like I said, a workplace. It could be a place that you go hang out on the weekends. It could be a particular person. It could be like a group chat that you're in, right? Anything that has to do with the Gemini, like peer-to-peer type relationship, okay? There's a part of you that already knows that this is not what's best for you, and you're just kind of hiding it, all right? So what I want to invite you to do is next time you get to walk away, just like when you are, don't do this, well, you're out in public and you're being your Gemini self, whichever Gemini self is showing up at the time, okay? This is you out in public trying desperately to just cling to the parts of yourself that you want to be. And there's somebody around you. Where did that 4 go? They don't want you changing. They don't want you changing. They want you to show up in the same way to them all the time because you're providing something to them that they're not providing to themselves. Okay? So next time you are alone in your own thoughts, allow yourself to perform a little bit of like fragmentation. I'm always talking about integration. Integration is the goal. But sometimes in order for us to do that, we have to get those 2 parts of ourselves that are unintegrated and allow them to have a conversation one-on-one. Okay? For some of you guys, writing this out is really going to help you. Sorry, there's I don't know if you guys could hear it. That giant truck, it was just giant and loud. Okay. So what you're being asked to do, they're like, split this up. 10 swords is too many swords to think about at once. It takes 5 swords at a time. 5 swords represent self-sabotage, okay? You've got to be honest with yourself about this situation. For some of you, I do actually, it makes me want to come back to this Page of Swords reverse at the beginning, because for some of you, you've already tried to speak the boundary and it's not being heard. It's time to bring this issue before the judge, all right? And the judge being your free will. You have to decide what you're going to do about this, Gemini, all right? Final deck that wants to talk to you is the Rose Oracle. Thank you, divine spirits of love and light, archangels, ancestors, allies, and guides. Thank you guys so much for being here and helping me to deliver this reading. Yeah, you know what? I didn't even realize that she's also cloaked in self-love. Interesting. If it's a person from your past, go check out or somebody who's been in your life for a long time, go check out the Taurus reading, okay? Because the thing about being cloaked in self-love really came up then, okay? Yeah. That's, oh, babies, I'm sorry. That's actually a big pile that I dropped on the floor, and they're probably not going to be a part of this reading after all. I'm sorry. The grandmothers. Okay. I'm going to actually pause and grab those cards. Yeah, it's just a pile of cards fell on the floor. I do not feel, well, I feel like this is the second bloom. A second chance is never too late. New possibilities. What are we talking about here? Come to me. Attracting like a rose, receive abundant desires. Guess what? This dynamic that's not really the best for you is occupying space that something else could fill. Okay? Yeah. Like there's something that you, in whatever this dynamic part of yourself, for some of you guys, this is a new part of yourself that you want to allow yourself to express, but you're surrounded by people who don't want that from you for whatever reason. Let it be their problem. Let it be their problem. Because what you're doing right now is you're surrounding yourself with people who are literally, they're taking up a space that could be filled by relationships that are much more in alignment with you and who you are. Okay? Is that a B? I feel like that's a B. It might not be. But what I feel it is the most important thing in a reading, okay? Because the B to me represents like multidimensionality, okay? You guys have a frequency that when you do allow it to express is going to attract people that match it, okay? The grandmothers. Remember your roots, perspective, trust the weavings. The weavings is what's important. I do feel like this is an ancestral energy that's guiding you here. That's essentially guiding you towards what will be peers, which is what Geminis need and want and love and desire. Okay? Somehow this ended up in front of me upright, this Lover's card. Okay? This is the energy that you have to gain by being very, very honest with yourself about the spaces that you walk into that occupy too damn much of your mental energy when you're not even in them anymore. Okay? I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here once again. And if you liked it, hit the like button. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. I'll be around. I'll see you guys soon.